Oh, you guys, now learning foreign languages, now that's the problem. Nowadays, obviously, we have Google Translate, you have all sorts of devices that can translate directly, so you don't really need foreign languages as much as we used to. However, I think we all prefer kind of saying what we have to say without going through a device when we are talking to someone who's not speaking the same language as we do, right? So then, how do you learn foreign languages? What's the easiest way if you're not filthy rich and you cannot afford to pay someone to kind of, professor or someone to help you study a language? Well, I'll tell you in a second. How do we learn a foreign language then? What's the easiest way? What's the best method? Personally, I am able to understand 7 languages. Now, one is my native language, which is Romanian, and 6 other languages. How is this even possible? Well, it's not that complicated as you might think. Okay, so I am not fluent in 7 languages, right? I'm fluent in 5. But I understand very well 6th and the 7th. So the languages in which I'm fluent are Romanian, English, Italian, French, Spanish, and then I understand Portuguese and also Chinese. The Chinese is more of a basic level. I've studied in university and I've been to China, so I can make a basic conversation in Chinese as well. I'm very passionate about Chinese, and even that's not as difficult to learn as people might think. It's just like any other language, really. When you don't speak a word of it, they're all complicated, obviously, because you don't speak a word of it. But that's another topic. Good, so then how do we learn these languages? What is my personal secret? I mean, everyone has a different method. With languages, it's not easy. Every single person is doing it in a different way. Now, my favorite way, believe it or not, is by watching television. Yes, in Romania, we watch television with subtitles. I know in many languages, in Italy, in France, the films are dubbed, so they don't have subtitles, which might impact negatively the learning process of a foreign language. So honestly, if you want to learn a language, go and watch a movie that's, let's say, in French, add subtitles, and take it from there. I did like that with French, I did like that with English, with Italian. So Spanish, yes, Spanish absolutely. I was watching lots of telenovelas when I was very, very young. So I never really, French and English I learned at school, but Italian and Spanish I've never ever learned in school. And I was fluent, in Italy I lived afterwards, but before going to Italy I was already fluent in Italian. Same thing with Spanish. I've never lived in Spain, I've never studied Spanish at school, and still I can call myself fluent in Spanish, and that's because I watched Spanish television. We really shouldn't ignore the power of television. So if you're thinking about teaching your children a new foreign language, since they are very young, make sure you allow them to watch a TV program in the native language. If possible, obviously it depends on the age of the child. Make sure they have subtitles as well if they know how to read. That will help a lot. Now, this is guaranteed. I mean, for grown-ups, probably it's more complicated than that. They need to use other means as well. I don't think only watching television with subtitles can help unless you already have a base. So if you're not 100% beginner, then yes, you can try a television and that will help. Obviously, if you're a beginner, you might need to use other means. But if you're thinking about teaching your children foreign languages, I can guarantee just watching television, even without subtitles, if they cannot read, makes a huge difference. But make sure you let them watch lots of programs in the native language in which you want them to, become proficient. Now, I don't want to repeat myself, but I think it's relevant. When it comes to learning a new language, there are so many ways of doing it. So I cannot cover all that in this clip because obviously it would take ages. So what I wanted to kind of highlight with this clip is the importance of television, because obviously not everyone has the time to go in, let's say, Spain for 6 months to learn Spanish, right? So you must do it somehow at home. And yes, you might have books. That's how I studied Chinese. I did at university, and then I used books and CDs and all sorts. And I even been to China for a month, but it's not always possible. So what I'm saying, that kind of cherry on the cake is to watch television in the native language. And why I'm saying this and why I think it's important is because, based on my experience, I've noticed that people from, let's say, France and Italy, because that's where I lived and that's what I know about, they are very lazy to listen to a movie, for example, in English. They want to learn English. It's like, yeah, practice English with me, please. But when it comes to watching a movie, they would pushing the movie in French, like an English movie dubbed in French. And I'm like, okay, well then what's the deal? Like, it's like you want to lose weight, but you take the lift all the time. It's kind of the same thing for me. So what I'm saying, insist on the television. I know it might be complicated because, it's not as easy as it seems. From feedback I received from friends, they were telling me, I cannot look at the movie and read in the same time. It bothers me. I cannot focus on both things at once. Now, again, from my experience, I'm telling you, it's a matter of exercise. Because I did this, and not only me, all Romanians, I'm talking about Romania because you might know now I'm from Romania. We grow up like that. So we watch movies with subtitles since we know how to read, really. So you reach a stage where you're so used to, I don't even realize when I'm reading. It comes so natural that I don't even feel like I'm reading. It's almost like being, let's say, dubbed in Romanian. Actually, when it's dubbed in Romanian, it bothers me. I'm like, ooh, that feels so... I don't like hearing, if I'm watching a movie with Will Smith, I want to hear Will Smith's voice. I don't want to hear somebody else's voice imitating Will Smith, right? So, as I said, we are used to read. So it's a matter of exercise. Once you start doing it, you will get used with it, and you will realize that's a very, very strong tool when you want to learn foreign language. It's a very, very strong tool, and you need to put that effort. As I said, as when you want to lose weight, you go to the gym because you know that's an important tool, even though probably you might not like it. I'm not a big fan. I love the results of the gym, but I don't love the activity of the gym as such, let's be honest. And the same thing you would do with a language. Yes, you need to go through something that's a bit more uncomfortable in order to reach a result. So don't be kind of lazy from that point of view. Go and do it. Watch a movie with, or if it's for the kids, put the kids to watch in original language, with subtitle in your own language, and you will see, and I'm telling you from experience, things will improve. And as a final note, really, I want to say, as I said, as a final note, I wanted to say, now, definitely, if you have further questions, feel free to ask me. I can say, yeah, with all my language experience and everything, I can kind of help you with other ways of learning a language. Thank you so much for watching.